Monetary Fund has projected a gradual drop in Nigeria's debt to gross domestic product ratio. According to IMF's Fiscal Monitor report, Nigeria's debt to GDP figure is expected to drop slightly from 50.7% to 49.6% next year. The report showed that Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio was 46.1% in October last year, while a year after, the figure has soared to 50.7%. The IMF said Nigeria's debt includes overdraft from the Central Bank of Nigeria and liabilities of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. It said the overdraft and government deposits at the Central Bank of Nigeria almost cancel each other out, and the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria debt is roughly halved. The Central Bank of Nigeria has clarified that the old series of 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1000 naira banknotes will remain valid indefinitely, refuting claims that the notes would cease to be legal tender by December 31st this year. In a statement released by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications, CD Akama, the CBN emphasized that such reports are false and intended to disrupt the nation's payment system. The CBN reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that all Nigerian banknotes, including both the old and redesigned series, remained in circulation, reminding the public that the Supreme Court's order for the continued use of old Naira notes alongside the redesigned versions is still in effect. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has called on the CBN to begin the gradual withdrawal of old Naira notes and ensure the availability of new notes in the 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1000 Naira denominations for Nigerians. The Senate has approved 15% from the Consolidated Revenue Fund as source of funding for the newly created Zonal Development Commissions by member states. The approval followed consideration and adoption of the report of the Senate Committee on Special Duties on the bills establishing the commissions. Earlier, the lawmakers were divided over the source of funding for the newly created Zonal Development Commissions during the clause-by-clause consideration of the South-South Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024, which serves as a structural template for other zonal commissions. Senator Yahya Abdullahi warned that the provision could lead to legal challenges from state governments, as no state would willingly allow its statutory allocation to be reduced. He explained that the 15% allocation would not involve a direct deduction from the state's funds. Also, the Senate has received a request from President Bola Tinubu for the screening and confirmation of appointments of 7 ministerial nominees announced in Abuja. The President's request was contained in a letter addressed to the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and read at the beginning of plenary. The President effected a change in his cabinet, relieving 5 ministers and announcing 7 replacements as nominees. Meanwhile, Tinubu in the letter sought for expeditious consideration of his request by the Senate. Accordingly, as announced by Akpabio, the Senate referred the presidential request to the Committee of the Whole for consideration very soon. At least 83 cases of circulating variant poliovirus type 2 have been recorded in 14 states this year. The Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aino, made the disclosure in Abuja during the 2024 World Polio Day commemoration. According to him, 64 are acute flaccid paralysis cases, while 19 were identified in environmental sites, despite a 35% reduction in cases compared to last year. He acknowledged the ongoing challenge of eradicating CVPV2, a mutated virus that has been spreading since 2021. Dr. Aino explained the success of eradicating wild poliovirus in 2020, noting that CVPV2 continues to pose a challenge. He assured the agency's ongoing efforts, including the identify, enumerate, and vaccine strategy aimed at improving the effectiveness of the polio campaign and interrupting CVPV2 transmission. And now from sports, the Confederation of Africa Football is keeping all concerned in suspect after failing to announce its verdict as regards the botched AFCON qualifying Group A fixture between Libya and Nigeria scheduled for October 15 at Benina Matrix Stadium. Report says the football body has yet to arrive at a decision, despite the disciplinary committee entertained explanations from both parties on Wednesday via video conference with Libya and Nigeria duly represented. CAF had previously decided to cancel the Libya-Nigeria match after the Nigerian national team left Libya in protest at the diversion of its flights to Labrak Airport, where they were locked in for 18 hours with neither food nor water. Nigeria had called on CAF to intervene to rescue them from detention inside Labrak Airport. CAF President Patrice Motsepe said that the incident was under investigation as the rules for receiving visiting teams are being reviewed, stressing that CAF will take strict decisions in this crisis and will not tolerate any deviation. Now from the foreign scene, Mozambique's ruling party, Frelimo, has won the country's divisive violence-marred election, extending its 49-year grip on power. According to officials, Daniel Chapo, Frelimo's relatively unknown presidential candidate, seen as an agent of change, will replace Philippine Yossi, who has served 2 terms. Chapo, aged 49, who gained 71% of the votes, will be the first president born after independence in 1975, while his closest challenger, Venancio Mondlane, got 20%. The newly president said in his victory speech that the party remained silent all this time because it respects and it's also an organized party that prepares for victories. Reports said the election was marked by allegations of rigging and the killing of opposition supporters. Still on the foreign scene, 3 journalists have been reported killed in an Israeli airstrike on a building known to be housing reporters in southeastern Lebanon. The attack was carried out on a guest house in a compound in Asbaya, being used by more than a dozen journalists from at least 7 media organizations, with a country yard containing cars clearly marked with press. Information also revealed that the 3 men worked for broadcasters Al-Manar TV and Al-Mayadin TV, which issued statements paying tribute to their killed employees. Meanwhile, Lebanon's information minister said the attack was deliberate, describing it as a war crime. The Israeli military has not yet commended, but has previously denied targeting journalists. The Lebanese Ministry of Health said 3 others were injured in the blast, while 5 reporters have been killed in pro-Israeli strikes in Lebanon, including Reuters journalist Issam Abdallah. That ends the media news on OSBC TV. Join us at 3 for the States News. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.